Welcome to the Teacher Wellness Lounge. I am your host, Leticia Jones, and I am so glad that you've taken the time to stop by and hang out with me for a few minutes. As you know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I am very aware that managing our mental health and even mental illness is a heavy lift and can be a challenge. And so it is my hope that this awareness and even our videos add value to you and help you all, including myself, manage our mental health. But I did want to pivot some and just bring some lightness to the table. And so I wanted to take a few moments to talk about riding a bike. How can we pedal to health? And I'll tell you what, hopefully, this is not a spoiler alert, but my experience with riding a bike, and it's in my blog, but I'm going to give you a synopsis here. My experience with riding a bike or learning how to ride a bike was very unorthodox. I want you to picture about 1975 ish. It's hot in the Boogie Down Bronx. The fire hydrants are blazing with cool water, our sprinkler system. And I had a buddy who had a bike, and I wanted to learn how to ride a bike so badly. She allowed me to ride. Of course, I didn't know how to ride, but I figured out that balancing was the first step. So I got on that bike and I was balancing and I pushed myself and balanced, never quite putting my feet on the pedals until I looked behind and saw my younger brother chasing me with a big smile on his face and a dead squirrel in his hand. That is what motivated me to put my feet on those pedals and ride, ride, ride. So the way that I learned how to ride a bike is by being chased with a dead squirrel by my brother. Anyway, I'm sure we all have or may all have stories of bike riding stories or just childhood stories that just never leave us. And so I thought it'd be a good idea this week to tap into some of those childhood activities that brought us joy and kept us physical and healthy. Now, hey, I'm half a century old. Okay, let me just admit it. So I can do bike riding, roller skating, some other activities might not be in the cards for me right now. However, I do know that riding a bike is something that is very low impact and that I can pick up. And so it may not be bike riding for you. It may be something else. I have a cousin who was a phenomenal volleyball player, so she might want to tap back into that. I have another buddy who lost tremendous amount of weight by reconnecting with roller skating. And so this episode is really about encouraging you to tap into your childhood, the things that brought you fun, excitement, and kept you active. And it could be a slew of things. It doesn't necessarily have to be riding a bike. But because that was what our blog is this week, I want to expound on that. Riding a bike actually impacts in a positive way your mental health. It supports memory and even promotes your creative thinking. So riding a bike is really very, very beneficial. And I always like to point that out because I think it's important for us to always be mindful of what are the things that add value to our lives. And if it's a value that you don't need or don't desire, it's really something that then you can make a better decision about. So just know that riding a bike does impact mental health in a very positive way. It helps with memory, supporting our long-term and short-term memory, and definitely supports our creative thinking. Now listen, riding a bike is fun. If you've ever ridden a bike, you know it's the coolest thing on earth. However, selecting the right bike is important, and I'm telling you, my blog this week will walk you step by step on how to identify what kind of rider you are, what kind of bike to buy, at least giving you the tools if you want to make that investment. So selecting the right bike, of course, safety is important. And like I've stated, connecting with your inner child is really, really what this is about. And I'll tell you, and my kids say this all the time, adulting sucks is what they say. And so I think that, tapping into our childhood and maybe even resurrecting some of those childhood activities and things that brought us joy then might be a source of joy today. And so that's really, again, what this is all about. Now, I will say this. I caution you, don't be like me. Every time I think about incorporating a new physical activity, I'm the kind of chick that goes all the way out. So when I was interested in golf, I went out and got golf clubs, shoes, of course, matching outfits, the whole thing. When it was bowling, I got a customized bowling ball and shoes and wristbands and all kinds of things to make me a better bowler. Ask me where that bowling ball is. My point exactly. So if you're thinking about resurrecting your love of bike riding or starting out, this is your first time, really stick to a budget. Think about, where you're going to ride. Think about safety, but most importantly, again, think about how you can connect to your inner child. I certainly hope that this episode was helpful. As always, in the description, we will add many more resources for you to support your mental health and your overall well being. And until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend. And next week, we'll have another exciting episode of the Wellness Snack. Journey well. Bye bye.